I think it's gonna have a count. No, I think we're live now, actually. So anyway, Gideon. What's up, Gideon? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's a Sunday the Bears aren't on, so it's a good Sunday. I don't
Yeah.
have to watch the Bears and be scarred having watched them, having watched that futile offensive hours
Oh,
and the
exactly.
aging defense.
Are you gonna be watching the Monday night game tomorrow against the Vikings?
Yeah, I'll be watching that. I So with COVID last year, what was really cool was there were games like every day of the week.
Yeah,
And this week we're getting back to that. So
exactly. Tuesday night football or Tuesday afternoon football.
I'm so excited. I love watching football. So having as much of it as possible to consume is fantastic. So I'll watch. I watch Sundays. I was going to watch last night. I didn't get to watch most of the game, but I
Yeah.
saw a replay on, so that was nice. And then I'll watch Monday and Tuesday this week.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit last night, and I was kind of surprised that New England. I mean, they were due
Yeah,
to lose a game. I mean, the Colts they're really good. They've come on strong here over the last few weeks at least. But
they have.
I kind of thought New England would win. I don't know. It's hard to. I'm starting to see the Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl and stuff like that, and that could definitely happen. But
Yeah,
I think people are starting to get a little buy in a little bit too much now to the recent surge by New England. They very well might go there. They might go to the AFC Championship. They might just lose in the first round. Who knows? That could happen.
yeah.
I do think the Buccaneers. I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I could see that happening. But with New England, it could happen. I still think that people are just starting to get a little too caught up in their streak lately. But Colts really slowed them down yesterday, and it was crazy that
They
Carson
did.
Wentz only completed 5 passes out of like what 12, I think 5 out of 12, I
Yeah.
think it was.
Yeah,
So
no, that was ridiculous. But I mean, the team that I think in the AFC, everyone was down on the Chiefs at the beginning of the
mhm.
season, but
Yep.
lately the Chiefs have been on fire.
Yeah.
So like that Thursday night game was one of the best games of the season thus far. Basically, I try to watch as much non-Bears football games as possible because I enjoy it more.
Oh
So
yeah. It's
Chiefs versus Bills. That was a fantastic game on Thursday night.
oh, you mean Chargers?
Chargers. So, yeah. Chiefs
Yeah.
versus Chargers was a fantastic game. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the latest? You saw that injury that happened? I think it was like the first quarter, right, for LA.
Who was it to again?
I'm trying to find. I gotta look it up, but it was a nasty looking injury, and I was just trying to say I didn't know what his
I
status
remember.
was.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember who it was to, but I
It was Donald Parham. Donald Parham. So
yeah.
he's in
I
stable
don't know
condition.
what
So
his status was after that, but
yeah,
I they showed it a bunch they, on
yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, it didn't look. It did not look good either. But
No.
another team that's actually playing really well lately, is the Dolphins. Who, I mean, they're tied with the Jets right now, so take that for
Yeah.
what you want. But they're 6-7, and I think they've won 4 in a row. Right? They were like 2-7.
Yeah, no, they didn't start out very hot.
No,
Um,
but
I mean, I do like the Dolphins.
5 in a row
I
actually.
mean, I like every other team besides the Patriots in the AFC East. I don't like the Patriots.
Yeah.
They've been too good.
Mhm.
The Actually my entire life, basically most of my life, and they're just they were old until they got Mac Jones. Now that
Yeah.
they have Mac Jones, they're a little more fun, but they're still the hated Patriots. So like any team in the AFC East that is doing well is more fun to watch than the Patriots, in my opinion.
The thing is, though, if it was like your team, like say the Bears had that dynastic run, then of course everybody
I
would
would
love
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Bulls of the 90s.
yeah,
That's who I grew up with.
yeah.
And I loved watching the Bulls. I still idolize Michael Jordan to
Oh, of
this
course.
day. I idolize Phil Jackson, even with Scottie Pippen doing what he's doing right now. I still think he's one of the greatest players ever.
Yeah.
And I'll always think that about him, regardless of the stupid things he says on Dan Patrick's show.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
going back to you for a minute. So, so you're doing well, right? You
Yeah.
just got married, so congrats on the wedding.
Thank you. Thank you.
And didn't you
Here's
sing a
here's the
song?
ring.
Oh, awesome. Let me put that up again. Nice, very nice. So
Yeah.
you and you sang at your wedding, right?
I did. I sang a song. I sang 8 Days a Week by the Beatles, which is one of mine and my wife's favorite songs. We also really like I Want to Hold Your Hand, and we came out to that. We were introduced to that song. And I sang 8 days a week. I play guitar. Uh, Apparently not very well, based on Waddle and Silvy's reaction to my holiday parody song. But I play guitar for fun, just on the side. Don't really perform much in public at all. I do some. I'm Jewish, so I do some
Yeah,
Jewish song
me
leading.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do some Jewish song leading at synagogues in the
Mhm.
area sometimes.
So, how long I'm assuming that when you did the song at your wedding, that was planned well in advance. Like, were you practicing and kinda training for it?
Kind of. So I actually played that song when my wife and I got engaged. Um, we got in. Both of us ride Harleys, so we
Mm,
actually
wow.
got engaged at our Harley dealership.
Oh, awesome.
Um, and I was there's stairs at the Harley dealership, so she came down the stairs as I was at the bottom of the stairs playing 8 days a week. So I've known the song for a while. Um, I hadn't ever played it with a band before, but I played it with a band that we had at our wedding. We had three musical guests, I guess. We had a band called Ara, which they're like an 80s rock band in the Chicago area. They're awesome. Their lead guitarist plays in another band with a singer named April. So that's Kevin and April. And I performed the song with Kevin and April. And then we had a DJ also. But I played 8 days a week with Kevin and April, which was a lot of fun.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. My
So
in-laws, to be honest, didn't want me to play right away. But I convinced them, I talked to them, and it was my wedding. I wanted to play.
you're like, "No, this is my time." Like,
Yeah.
doing what did they want you to do or not or I guess
They
did you
didn't want me to perform. They just
at
wanted
all?
the bands to yeah, they wanted the bands to be the ones up there performing. They didn't want me to go up there.
Were
And
you nervous?
honestly, I forgot like I had a complete brain fart while performing. I forgot the words and the
Yeah.
chords. And Kevin was like telling me the chords. He was like, "Hey, B minor." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do whatever he says." Um and I sang a little. I got the words out, I think. Uh yeah.
So it all came out awesome then.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to see what the wedding video looks like, and
Yeah.
we'll have to see what it looks like. I don't know when we'll get that, but we'll see. Yeah.
So were you nervous doing it?
I was so nervous, but I think I was more nervous for the first dance. I'm like a robot on the dance floor. I don't dance. Like I can dance, but not well.
Yeah.
And my wife grew up dancing. She performed all throughout elementary, middle school, high school.
Mm.
Um, so like she's a talented dancer and I'm like a stick out there. So I was so nervous about that, and I actually messed up the first dance, and she hasn't let me fully live that down yet. She's always like, "Ugh, I wish we could have done it right, and I wish we could have done it perfectly like they had shown us how to do it." We only started rehearsing for the first dance like 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks ahead of the wedding because we went to another wedding and we were like, oh, like they rehearsed their first dance. It looks really good. We should also rehearse a first dance. So we started 2 weeks before, and it wasn't enough time for me to remember everything. Yeah.
So, and where'd you end up going on the honeymoon?
We actually haven't gone on our honeymoon yet. We're postponing like a big honeymoon until December of next year,
Okay.
because of COVID and all that.
Mhm.
Both of us really want to go to Australia and New Zealand, and they're like closed still. Like they're not letting
Oh,
in
yeah.
tourists really. So we're gonna wait until December of 2022 to go. And then this year we're gonna go away for New Year's to celebrate. We haven't been to the south, so we're gonna go somewhere south.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know where yet? Or just
We're
south?
still deciding. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, that's coming up. You said New
Yeah.
Year's. So yeah, that'll be coming up pretty quickly. So that'd be cool to get away, especially get into the warmth and get away from
Yeah.
the cold of Chicago.
Definitely. Chicago is too cold right now, and it's only like 30. So like
Oh yeah.
it'll be like 10 and I'll be cursing myself for saying it's too cold when it was 30 because that'll be the weather gods paying
Yeah.
me.
So, are you ready? I know you said you're Jewish actually, so I don't know if you do anything. Do you do Christmas at all, like in your family, or is it all strictly like everybody's Jewish?
So we do the traditional Jewish thing on Christmas with Chinese
Mhm.
food and a movie.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So we'll be doing that with my mom and her husband. They
Yep.
actually got married back in August. So
Okay.
both of us are newlyweds, which
There
is
you
kind
go.
of cool. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah, and yeah, like I'm Jewish on my mom's side. Like my dad's side, my dad's not Jewish. My mom is,
Yeah.
so we do kind of the normal. Well, we'll do our normal Christmas thing with my dad, and then we did Hanukkah, of course, over the
Yeah.
last few weeks ago now.
Did you
But
get any cool gifts for Hanukkah?
you know what? I did. I mean, I mean, I appreciate it. Like, I
Yeah,
just got like, gift cards and stuff like that, but stuff that I can use for sure. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
so, I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of just the
Nowadays
essentials,
it's
but
money that you want. Like I want money
exactly.
for holidays, but we also got some other things like we got well, actually, we got Hanukkah like gifts for our dog. Our dog got a kippah and a tallis to wear, which was pretty fun. A head covering and a prayer shawl. So that's pretty cute to dress our dog up like that. Um, yeah.
What kind of dog do you have?
We have a lab mix. He's very cute, and his name is Maccabee.
Nice.
So in reference to the Jewish holiday,
There
yeah.
you go. How long have you had him?
He's almost 2 years, and we got him when he was like 4 months, 3 months or
Okay.
4 months. Yeah, he
Okay,
was a
so
pandemic dog.
oh, okay. So you got him
Yeah,
during the pandemic. I got you. Is that your
yeah,
first pet?
yeah. Our first pet together, my wife and my first pet together.
So as we alluded to, you're a musical genius. You have all the experience and stuff. So you entered the holiday parody song for Waddle and Silvy. So is this the first time that you've submitted an entry, or have you done it before?
So I've done it before. I entered it back maybe in like 2012 or 2013,
Okay. Wow.
somewhere around there. I entered with the same tune of the song to "Oh Hanukkah, Oh Hanukkah."
Yeah.
Um, it was called Oh Chicago," and it basically referenced like Derrick Rose being injured and Jay Cutler being an inaccurate quarterback, and the Cubs not having won a World Series in over 100 years. So it was a fun song. It didn't make it far in that parody contest, nor did the current one go very far.
So you've done the two, or have you done more?
I've only done two. So I'm not a very good lyrics writer, and my wife actually wrote the lyrics for my song. So she was honestly more upset that Waddle and Sylvie didn't like the song than me. I just submitted like I played it in like 5 minutes. I recorded it. The recording on my computer didn't originally work, so then I had to like use a converter to convert it to
Yeah.
an MP3 file.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, and then I submitted it. So like it probably wasn't very good quality. I played it without a microphone or anything like that.
Yeah.
So just not very good uh qualities of the song from that regard. The lyrics were fantastic. Like
Yeah.
people loved the lyrics. Um, Actually, after it first played on Waddle and Silvy, and it was called "Houses Divided" because
Yeah.
I referenced that I live in a house divided. My wife is a Cubs fan. I'm a Sox fan, and then I referenced in the song, which I don't think they ever played it on the radio. At the end of the song, I ended with um, "Mason, you should always be true to the White Sox."
Mm,
So I was throwing fire into the fight between Sylvie and Mason.
that's true. That's
Um,
true.
yeah, so people loved it, and I was tweeted after it played by someone who's the head of actually I think it's the American Conference of Cantors, which is the association where all reform cantors are in.
Hmm.
And she sent my song out. I sent it to her, and she sent it to cantors in the area to re-record so that I would have a better entry. And
That's what's up.
I ultimately decided not to submit it. I didn't feel like that would be true to myself or true to the spirit of the holiday parody song contest. So I didn't end up submitting that version. But it was really cool that this woman reached out to me. She's the head of the organization, and some really high profile cantors decided to record the song for me,
That's
which
awesome.
was nice. So I have copies of it from all those people, and it sounds really good when they play it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's cool that you have like I guess like a professional quality of it or
Yeah.
uh so that,
Version. Yeah.
yeah, version. That is pretty
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, talk to the House is Divided song. So, I remember when I heard that you had a song out there, I had to hear it because like
Yeah.
I don't catch the full episodes all the time, so I had to like figure out where it was and find it, and I thought it was really good. I mean, I liked it. I was like, oh, this should win, even if it doesn't win, it should just not saying that it was like, I mean, I'm not saying that it was not good, but like if they were going to do like a number one and then like a quote unquote like, I'm not trying to say like the worst version or the worst song, but like
Yeah.
give you some kind of a, what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
give you some kind of award anyways. But I thought it was funny though, and I liked the jingle of it. And so you had that song. Do you want to sing it, or is that too on the spot for you?
I don't have the lyrics pulled up.
Okay.
Um, I can pull up the lyrics.
If you want to, no
Yeah,
pressure, but I think it'd
let
be funny
me
to hear it.
let me pull up the lyrics. Let
Okay.
me let me see where this is. Okay, here they're pulling up. They've redone Word recently, so
Hmm.
it's kind of weird. But okay, I'll sing it.
Okay.
Chicago Cubs, oh, how my wife loves you. Let's all remember that Cap used to bleed blue. Gather round the speaker, we'll give you a fright. Bryant Baez and Rizzo had to take a hike. And while I am singing, my ALC flag is waving high. Timmy and Jose always shining. A house divided is our favorite fight. Now, Len, don't think I forgot you. Your black and white is shining through. Mason, my man, your father is wrong. The Sox will always be true.
See, that's probably the first time I've heard the full thing through because there's
Yeah,
always talking or something going on anyway. So I
exactly.
like that's awesome to hear that like officially like on the record like the entire song all the way through. And yeah, so I don't know how many times it got played. I'm sure they played it a few times.
They
Black and
did. They
Abdallah.
played it whenever I was like calling in, and they were like, "Let's laugh a little at Gideon," which
The themes.
I love being laughed at. Like I I enjoy being funny. Like
Mhm,
I,
mhm.
I don't think of myself as a very funny person, but I think sometimes other people think I'm funny just in the way that I am. Like whenever I call into to Waddle and Silvy or Black and Abdallah or any of the shows, I'm my like authentic self, and
Yeah.
like they enjoy that, I think.
No, yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm a
So
fan I'm a
yeah.
fan of Gideon because
Thank you.
I don't even yeah, like, you may not even be trying to be quote unquote funny, but there was funny, either a funny, not even funny, just I don't know. You have like an authentic, as you put it, authentic a way about you or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know. You probably had a funny call or something, and I was like, oh, I'm a Gideon fan, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I that's why I figured it'd be fun to talk with you because I knew you'd be all about it. You're very enthusiastic, is the word I'm looking for.
Thank you.
Enthusiastic, I feel like so.
Thank you. I try to
But
put everything into like what I'm doing.
yeah.
Like my all into it.
And so, and you already said it that your wife's a Cubs fan, right?
Yeah.
And so you're a Sox fan. So I guess she had the upper hand in terms of that rivalry, or really the last few years with the
Yeah.
Cubs, and now of course the Sox have kind of turned it around and all that.
Yeah.
So did you guys go to many games or any games this past season?
Yeah, we did. We went to, I don't remember if we actually went to Cubs games.
Mhm.
I think we did. In the past, so I used to live in the Chicago area. I
Yeah.
used to live in Southport Corridor, which Southport Corridor has all the benefits of living near Wrigley without it being like as loud as the Wrigley area.
Mhm.
So Southport Corridor is 4 blocks away from Wrigley Field, and you can easily walk to the games.
Yeah.
So my wife, being a huge Cubs fan, would come to my place and we'd walk over to Wrigley, and we probably went. So we started dating back in 2017.
Mhm.
So the 2018 season was like the first season we were together, and then
Yeah.
2019 as well. And in each of those years, we probably went to around 20 baseball games.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Both she and I love baseball. Before her, like pre my wife, I used to go down to Guaranteed Rate Field or US Cellular, which it was called back then. And I used to take the train, walk up to the box office, and if you
Mhm.
paid with cash, you didn't have to pay tax on your
Hmm.
tickets. You could buy a $7 ticket for the upper levels. The best part about it was after buying that $7 ticket, they'd see that there were only, I don't know how many fans, but let's say there were only 10,000 fans. They'd
Yeah.
close the upper level and they'd make you move down to the lower level.
Nice.
So I would buy a $7 ticket and be in the stadium, and then add in dollar hot dog night, and I would basically, I wouldn't make a profit of going there, but
Yeah.
I basically would be stealing from them because I paid $7 to get in. I had $4 hot dogs, and it was pretty good back then.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then of course you went to White Sox games this past season.
Yeah. I actually went for my bachelor party. We were there.
Nice. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. I went a few other times. I have a family friend who's a season ticket holder, and he actually would give us some of his tickets, which are like right behind home plate. They're awesome seats. They're first level. Um, so it's awesome whenever he gives us tickets. I'm hoping to actually go with him this coming season. We've never been able to go to games together because he's always been busy, and that's why we've gotten his tickets. But I'm hoping that our family friend and I get to go to some games. He's a diehard fan. He was at I don't remember if he was at game 3 or game 4. I think he was at game 4 of the series with the Astros.
And he was behind home plate, you said?
Yeah, he sits like one section over from right behind home plate.
That's cool. I'll have to go back and see if I can find you, like in the future, find you guys
Yeah,
behind home plate.
yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
uh, so the Sox, what did you think about their season?
So I thought it was really good. I definitely thought the entire way that we were going to win the division, which we ended up doing. Um, I thought we had a better chance than we showed against the Astros. Um, I guess I think that we have two big problems. Our defense needs to improve,
Hmm.
and then I think our starting pitching needs to improve. I think that our hitting will come through at the right time in the coming years, just because of how potent our offense can be. Like when you have Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, like that offense is going to come through. And I haven't even mentioned Yasmani Grandal at this point. Like that offense is going to come through. You're not going to have as unfortunate of series as we did against the Astros in the future. The offense will pull through, but you need a good defensive player at second base. I was so upset when we got rid of Nick Madrigal.
Mm,
I understood the reasons why we got rid of Nick Madrigal, but I really like Nick Madrigal and his style of baseball. Um, it, so I have an affinity towards second baseman like Gordon Beckham. I used to love. Um, yeah, I just love second baseman. Juan Uribe was one of my favorite players when he was playing second base. Um, so I second basemen are I harp on second baseman too much, so I won't go too much more with Nick Madrigal. But we need a strong second baseman, a strong defensive second baseman, and then we need a right fielder. And then starting pitching, we need to improve on. Rodon was tired at the end of the season. Michael Kopech was tired at the end of the season, and he wasn't even one of the starting pitchers. He's going to be moved into the starting rotation for this year, and who knows what we'll have come September.
yeah.
So I'm worried about that. I think we need to sign a strong starting pitcher, or two strong starting pitchers, because I think we might need to have a 6-man rotation so that Kopech and Cease don't get burnt out. Cease really impressed me this year with how he pitched, but
Hmm.
Kopech, I think Kopech was tired at the end of the season, and it showed. Rodon was tired at the end of the season, and that definitely showed in the playoff game that he pitched in. And I mean, all of our pitchers look tired against the Astros, but that's what the Astros can do to you sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah,
And then now that we're in a lockout, so
yeah,
I'm not too worried about it right now because I mean, hopefully it ends before spring training, but
yeah,
it could linger.
yeah. I mean, so in my lifetime, sure that the '94 lockout was early on in my lifetime. I was 2 years old, so I wasn't very
Yeah.
very cognizant of of
Yeah.
the lockout at that point. But
Yeah.
there's been the NBA lockout,
Hmm.
which caused the season, I think, to start on Christmas.
Yeah.
And that I loved that. That was a great season. That shortened season. So there was the NBA lockout, and then there was an NFL lockout in my lifetime. Um, I I guess
NHL.
there was the NHL lockout, but as we talked about prior to the show today, I'm not too big of an NHL fan. I enjoy watching the NHL, but um, it didn't really affect me. It didn't pull on my
Yeah.
heartstrings like this baseball one is going to if the season is
Yeah.
partially missed.
Right.
I'm hoping that whatever happens, it's either similar to that NFL lockout, which I don't
Hmm.
think we missed any games for.
Right.
Um,
Right.
that NBA lockout where it shortens the season and makes it even more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that 60 game season that we had with COVID was awesome. Like, I was all into the games the entire year, watching them all on my TV. Um, Obviously, you couldn't go to any of the games. We couldn't go to any of the games in Chicago. I think they opened up in like Texas for the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I was watching all the games. I was so invested in every single game back in 2020, and with a 162 game season, um, I don't get fatigued. I know,
Mm-hmm.
like Waddle talks about being a little fatigued by the
Right.
baseball season.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily get fatigued. Like I check the standings each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I got a newspaper, I used to be the kind of fan who would look at the newspaper every single day, go to the
Yep.
box scores, check them out. Um, like baseball is my probably my favorite sport right now. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite sport growing up was basketball, but baseball, like 162 games, I can't watch all of them.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I can try to listen to all of them now that the White Sox are on ESPN and they're on the ESPN app, the ESPN Chicago app. So that's pretty good. But outside of that, like it's hard to watch all the games.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I
Yeah,
get that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was talking with the former Cubs PA broadcast or PA man Andrew Bellison last week, and we were talking about just kind of the state of the game, and
yeah,
whether it was trying to speed it up and stuff like that. And I was talking about how I love baseball, but if it's my team, I'll watch, like a playoff game, for instance. I will watch no matter how long the game ends up being.
yeah,
But I get it. 4-hour games aren't exactly ideal, especially, when they're on at night and then you have kids going to school the next
yeah,
day, people trying to go to work. And I was like, I could be a big baseball fan, but I'm probably, even if it's the World Series, if it's two teams I'm not really interested in or I'm not like super passionate about, I'm probably not going to watch 4 hours of two teams that I'm not
yeah.
really, so, um,
I see
but
that when it's playoff baseball, I watch the games. Or at least I try to watch the games.
yeah,
Now that I'm married and I have a wife, we have to if we want to spend time together,
yeah,
we have to compromise over
yeah,
what's on
right.
on the TV. My wife loves baseball, loves the Cubs, but when it comes to the playoffs and two teams that aren't either of our own, um, she'll watch casually, but like
Yeah.
if it's not on, she'd prefer to watch something else.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'll
yeah,
I'll definitely watch, but I don't always watch every game or the full game. But it just depends on kind of what's I guess what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'll definitely watch. I'll definitely have games on, but like I can't say that I watched the entire. I don't think I watched any of the entire World Series games, but I
yeah, I
probably
don't think
honestly
I
fell
did
asleep.
either.
I probably was just tired at like 10 o'clock though, anyway. So
Yeah,
I don't really
yeah,
remember. But so going back to the holiday parody song contest, so
yeah.
there was also I had the name in my I already forgot the name of the guy, but
I think it
basically he
was
did
Jeff Poindexter or
Jeff
something like that.
Poindexter,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it, Jeffrey Poindexter, yeah.
yeah,
I knew it was memorable. Um,
yeah,
he did a song basically about you called "What's This," referencing you. So, how
yeah.
did you feel to have a song that someone just made about you?
Yeah, I was really honored actually. Um, I so when I call into ESPN, I know that whatever I say on the
Could be
air
used against you.
can be used against me. Like I've been a part of commercials for them with the story about
Yeah.
my 7th grade science teacher. So
Yep.
like
Yep.
I know whatever I say live on the air can be used against me. So um when this song came on, we were talking about this. I listen to ESPN at work sometimes while I'm sitting at my desk working in my cubicle. And this song came on, and I just started cracking up, and people were looking at me at work oddly. Um, it was such a funny song, like to use my laugh the way he talked about it. Um, and so when I called in that day after the wedding, um, I actually was sitting right here where I am, and I called in. My wife was asleep, um, and I called in, and Abdallah answered, and he was like ESPN 1000, and my voice had like gone away from the night before from the
Yeah.
wedding,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh my god, we have to put you on." So they put me on, and Sylvie, when he had me on, asked if
Yeah.
we consummated,
Yeah.
and I'm standing there in our living room, um, talking on the phone on the radio, and Stephanie, my wife, hears me saying, um, like, "Oh boy, they just asked me if we consummated," and she's like, "Don't answer that. Don't answer that." Like she's going like that. Don't answer that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my wife's telling me not to answer that.
Yeah, it's smart. That's
Yeah,
smart that you were just like, I can't get into that."
yeah, yeah. And then Sylvie continued to prompt me. The
Mhm.
story about the marriage license, completely true. We forgot the marriage license, as I said on ESPN, and Jeff did a great job capturing that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved the story about the like the way he told the story about my call. I loved that.
So, and then you called in on Friday because he played
Yeah.
the song live. So, did you already plan to call in or like in like talk afterwards or?
Yeah, so I called in when they announced the top 5 or
Mhm.
10.
Mhm.
I think it was the top 10. And Abdallah actually said to me, "Call in on Friday." So
Okay.
that kind of gave me a clue. It was the top 10 that I called Abdallah about.
Gotcha.
So I
Okay.
called in, and Abdallah was like, "Call back Friday." So I had the inkling that
Yeah.
the song was going to be in the top 5. So the next day I heard it was in the top 5. So I called in on Friday on my way home from work, and
Right.
Abdallah goes, "Okay, we're putting you on hold. They're playing Jeff, or Jeff is going to perform next. And
Yeah.
then if there's time, we'll get you on after he performs." So I don't think Waddle and Sylvie even knew that I was coming on, that he had me on hold. So
Yeah.
that's why Abdallah was like, "Okay, Gideon's on the line," and Gideon talk like, "Say hi to Jeffrey Poindexter." So I said hi, and it was just authentic what happened from there. Like
Yeah. No, yeah.
he was very quick with asking if we consummated, and I told him I can't answer that, and then he was quick to say, "We'll take that as a yes."
Yep.
So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that was good. I actually was listening to that. I just
Yeah.
happened to have it on, and so I caught all that, so that was good. But I was wondering. I always wonder sometimes like how that kind of works out because I was like, they probably told you to call in, or maybe you just happen to think like, oh, I better call in. But I figured that had to be planned.
Yeah, so I call in very regularly.
Yeah.
And most of the time the funny thing is, and Abdallah can attest to this, I call in and I'm like, "Hey, Abdallah," and he's like, "Hey, what do you have to say?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was just calling to say hey, Abdallah." So I call in just to say hi to Abdallah and Bleck sometimes.
I should do
Um,
that. I should do that
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Cause I
they're
call in.
pretty
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, yeah,
So, cause like, so sometimes we'll just call in just to say hey, and you're not actually calling to get on the show.
yeah, exactly. I don't have any sports points at that
See,
point. Yeah.
that's I don't know if you heard my call on Friday. Did you happen to hear that
I
on
I
Black Milk?
wasn't listening on Friday. I had a friend's birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I called in. I didn't have a sports thing. I just called in to say hey, because like it was like one of the last shows, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
call in. But
Yeah. All calls
but
welcome Fridays.
exactly, all calls
Yeah.
welcome. So you have a Black and Abdallah story because you were talking. I know that you went there to you gave him donuts and you were supposed to kind of listen to a show live. I think in person.
Yeah. So back when it was like right after I graduated college. I want to say it was either 2015 or 16.
Mhm.
Um, and my mom called ESPN and she got through to Abdallah and she said, "My son is a huge fan of yours. Can he come on the show and like watch your show live, like be in studio with you guys?" And Abdallah and Black let me come to the studio. I got to sit in studio with them while they tried to broadcast, but Christine Lisi was talking over them, and uh, I don't know what exactly was going on, but I think they had the national station like plugged in and they needed to just unplug the national station and they figured out how to get on for um, ESPN Chicago tailgate or game day, whatever that show was called. Um, when it was Fred Hubner and Black and Abdallah, I got to sit in studio with Eric, and I got to uh, answer a few listener phone calls, which was cool. And then put them through to the guys. I got to type on they have a screen
Yeah.
there where the producers type what the callers want to say. So I got to type on that, which was pretty cool. And I brought them donuts because my mom told me that's what I should do
Yeah.
to be nice.
Yeah.
So I did.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
so
I
you
have
kind of got
another Black and Abdallah story
yeah.
if you want that.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
so their show, like back before they were popular, and before they were like the stars that they are today, they were
Yeah.
always stars, but before they were popular, they would do their show. They would tape their show on Friday nights,
Mhm.
and then it would be broadcast on Saturday mornings. And I didn't realize that. I always thought their show was live on the air at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
Yeah.
on Saturday mornings. So one morning, I'm heading back to college. So this is in August. Um, I'm at the gas station pumping gas, and I get back into my car and I'm listening to ESPN. I'm getting on the Edens to go down to Champaign Urbana, and I hear a point. Bleck says something, so I call in, and Bleck answers the phone because what they would do, they'd do the show Friday night, they tape it Friday night, and then one of them would have to be in studio producing the show, like putting it on the air. So Black answers the phone, and I'm like, Black, here's what I want to say, blah, 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 blah. And Black is like, you do know we're not live right now. And I was like, well, can I still make the point? And he was like, well, we can't respond to the point if I put you on to make the point because, like, this isn't live. And I was like, but you're there. And he's like, yeah, that's true, but I'm not on the radio. I'm playing this show that we had from a few
Yeah.
nights ago. So he didn't put me on the radio that night. But basically ever since then, and ever since they've been live, I've called in. I used to call in every Sunday morning when they'd be
Mhm.
on. Um, the, like I used to be Gideon in Lakeview. I grew up as Gideon in Skokie. I call in all the time. Sometimes I get through, sometimes I don't. There was actually one call back in college before Abdallah was the producer of Waddle and Silvy. I called in and I suggested to Goffman that Phil Jackson should be the coach of the Illini,
Yeah.
and he hung up on me. Um, and I called back and I was like, I think the call disconnected. Um, Phil Jackson should be the head coach of the Illini, and I got hung up on again, and then I realized I was hung up on.
So they didn't want any part of that.
No, no.
See, the beauty of that now is that would you could get on with that. I mean, they know who you are, but
Yeah,
they would also put you on. Like, let's say Black and Abdallah did not know you whatsoever, that call would make it through,
it
or
would.
even
Yes.
Waddle and Silvy probably. I mean, they would just
Yeah,
be
crazier
like,
calls have made it through.
great, yeah, and they welcome
Yeah,
the crazy calls, especially on Black and Abdallah. But
they do.
that's funny. So,
They do
so
on
let's.
Cap and J Hood too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just gotta be but you also gotta be ready to defend your point or be mocked
you
at,
do.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. Cap used to bowl in the bowling league that my father-in-law used to bowl in, and I used to show up at the bowling league just so I could talk with Cap,
Yeah.
and I would go up to Cap and I would talk to him about sports opinions, most of which I disagree with him on. Um, I align myself much more with Waddle and Silvy. Actually, one more story about my radio upbringing. When I was 13 years old for my bar mitzvah, my
Mhm.
grandparents got me a gift, and the gift was to go on to um, Waddle and Cap's show on WGN. I
Yeah.
got to sit in studio with them with three friends, and they like their show was about sports. They talked sports. I got to come on at the very end and talk on the radio. They were asking a trivia question, and I got to have the first stab at answering it, which
Did you
was
get it
pretty
right?
cool. I don't remember if I got it right. I know it was a Bulls question, but I don't remember if I got it right.
That's awesome, though. So you've had quite the, I mean, you're not like a professional radio star or whatever, but you've had a lot of experience in and around the radio.
Yeah, yeah. I love calling in. I love being a part of the shows. I love
Yeah.
listening to the shows. Um, yeah,
Yeah, me too. And it's fun because you don't have to be a professional to make it onto the show and to interact with them and stuff,
yeah,
so it's always
exactly.
been really fun. So before we let you go,
Yeah,
or I should say before we go,
yeah,
um, did you have any other anything that you want to put out there or not? But I'm gonna give you the platform.
yeah. I think that the times we're in right now are like really interesting times with COVID.
Hmm.
Um, I value so much, and I've realized how much I value sports and how
Yeah.
much it like takes you away from all the other realities of life.
Right.
Um, I love being able just to like sit on the couch, have a game on, pay attention to the game, and forget about like all the other problems in the world.
Hmm.
And I just hope that like we don't ever face a time again where we don't have sports like back in 2020.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's so hard to live without sports. Um, they're a safe haven for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, you said it. I
Yeah,
mean, it was starting to feel kind of ominous over the last few weeks with the way people were talking about how we got to shut down and we got to,
yeah,
you know, take a break. And I don't know, maybe that'll happen. I don't know, but I mean, you said it. I'm glad that there's games on like the second, literally as we're talking. And I've been
yeah,
checking out the scores a little bit, but I agree. It's definitely just weird times, and we're almost 2 years into this whole thing now because we're about to be in 2022. So
yeah,
at least I think we're still better off today than we were, say, this time last year. But,
definitely.
um, yeah, sports are definitely a safe haven or a nice distraction from anything, really, good or
Yeah,
bad. I mean, but uh, are you gonna be watching? You're gonna be watching the Bears tomorrow night?
yeah, yeah. I'll suffer through it. I hope. I don't know what I'm hoping for. I don't know if I want us to win or lose or
Yeah,
What
I
I
know.
just want Justin Fields not to get killed.
Yeah, he'll
I
be
want Justin Fields to look like a professional quarterback.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I the Bears drive you nuts.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Well,
it's so hard.
I definitely understand those that are fans, but might root for a loss just because it might be like we need that. But at this point, win or lose, I think that the change has to happen. You'd
Yeah,
think, and who knows? But I guess you can't really control it either way. So it's just like maybe just
yeah.
hope for a win and that's that. But yeah, Zetterman had a question on Shot or No Shot the other day on Cap and Jay Hood about is Nagy the worst, like on the Mount Rushmore of all time bad Bears coaches? And they said no shot because, before this year, Nagy's never been under 500. He's been to the playoffs twice. But I said absolutely shot because this guy, his offense is literally worse than
Yeah,
the Sid Luckman 40s offense. I saw that stat recently about how
yeah.
like their pass was it their points per game or their passing is like worse than then. But
It's terrible.
but I mean I get it. Like I get both sides of it. I would say it's a shot because I mean their offense is horrible. Like he's supposed to be an offensive guru and the
Yeah.
offense is bad. And I get that he's not like the worst coach in terms of winning percentage, but I mean, and I would assume his next job in the NFL might not even be offensive coordinator. It might be like an offensive, like a quarterbacks. Well, I don't know if it'd be a quarterbacks coach, but you get like a position.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. But I could see him working himself back up into maybe offensive coordinator down the road, maybe a head coach again. I doubt it, but Pace though, I don't think he could ever be a GM again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Pace could be a GM again for, like, a desperate team just because he knows how to be a GM. Like,
Yeah,
there
but
there's gotta be one team the Lions are worse than us theoretically. They
yeah.
they're
But
kinda built in that, um
that's not really advocating for pays as much as it is just an incompetent team saying, "Oh, we should give him
Exactly.
a shot." So,
Yeah,
I mean, in that case, yeah,
yeah.
Nagy could coach again, but I don't think even the worst team is going to go that route right away.
Yeah, it's a hard shot or no shot, which I think is the idea behind it, that it's
Yeah.
a tough decision. Um, Mark Trestman's
Oh, yeah.
offense did much better than Matt Nagy's offense.
Yeah.
So, because of the fact that we brought Matt Nagy here to, like, revolutionize the Bears offense
Mhm.
and be strong, I'd have to go shot with that question as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's a shot. But yeah, I'm gonna have Zetterman on over sometime soon, I think.
Yeah,
Talk about radio, sports. I think it's always fun talking with the producers that don't
yeah,
necessarily I mean, like Zetterman definitely you hear him on the radio all the time, but obviously he's behind the scenes. So I think it's fun to get like the producers, like give them a
yeah,
chance to hear what they think. Like I talked to Eric and got his sports thoughts, and that was really cool because he's more or less chiming in, but also more kind of in the background of like of Black and Abdallah or whatever show. So it's fun to get their personality and their
it is. Yeah,
what they think as well. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I think we've almost hit the hour mark. So we've probably gone. Well, I mean, it didn't really matter, but I didn't
Yeah,
have any specified time or anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit end on here. But it was fun talking with you, and let's definitely do this again if you want. I'm down.
definitely. Yeah,
Hell yeah, for
this was a
sure.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit end. But thanks again for coming on and spending your Sunday with me.
Thank you for having me.